Hello, everybody. This is Henry here from the Cannabis Dispatch or the CBD Business Networking Group on Facebook. And today we have Mike Sessoms of SSE Group. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about SSE Group.
Well, first, thanks for having me on, Henry. I appreciate it. To tell you a little bit about the SSE Group, we host trade shows. Between our sister company and ourselves, we've been hosting shows for almost 15 years now with over 150 trade shows. Our core trade shows we host three types of trade shows, I should say. And our core trade shows are our boutique style trade shows. Our boutique style trade shows are hands down one of the most productive format of trade shows on the market. And what we do is we bring in direct manufacturers in a given industry, say CBD and supplements, and the exhibitors will exhibit in a hotel room suite. We always go to high-end destination locations, top-notch food, great locations, great hotels or resorts, and the exhibitors exhibit in their hotel room suite, and we bring in all volume buyers, both chain stores and distributors, and each buyer has a pre-scheduled 20-minute one-on-one private meeting with each direct manufacturer, one after another. To sum it up, the best way is it's basically business speed dating. And again, the whole core and foundation of our trade shows is relationship building. And the great thing about our boutique events is it's a very good format for building relationships, because other than your 20-minute private one-on-one meeting, everybody eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner together the entire duration of the show. Our boutique style events are small by design. We have anywhere from 31 exhibitors to 20 to 25 buyers, and that's it. Again, it's very intimate, very small, all by design. Hands down, one of the most productive format of shows on the market. The second style of trade show that we put on is, because of COVID, we had to pivot, and we host virtual events. It's the same format with pre-scheduled private one-on-one meetings. It's just done over a Zoom platform. And then our third type of trade show is your traditional convention hall style booth trade show. That's our HQ event. So we have numerous shows throughout the year. We have 22 shows slotted for 2022, and we have another half a dozen or so shows slotted for the rest of this year, or a dozen, I should say. And again, the industries that we're in are vape, smoke shop industry, as well as the CBD and supplement industries, as well as cannabis related items as well.
It's awesome to hear. So, how long ago was this started?
Well, we started close to 15 years ago. Our sister company did, EME, and they're in the promotional products space. And then we started the SSE Group portion of it about 6.5, 7 years ago. We started with one show a year, and we've taken off like a rocket. Next year, we're up to 22 shows. So we've been going in the right direction, and we have a great group network of both exhibitors and buyers that find a lot of value in our events, and it's like one giant family. I call it my trade show family.
Oh, damn, 15 years. That's a long time, and 22 shows a year.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. What was it that made you get into trade shows in this specific space?
Well, I've been in the smoke shop arena for close to 25 years now, and I've exhibited as a manufacturer and an exhibitor at numerous hundreds of shows throughout the years. And my partner and I both exhibited at a format similar to ours in a different industry. And I started up one of my own company a couple of years back, 7, 8 years ago. And my partner called me and said, "Hey, why don't we do this trade show for this industry," which is the smoke shop industry, is what we started with. And then it kind of branched off from there. It led into dispensary shop events, smoke shop events, vape shop events, CBD events, which is now CBD and supplement events. We did pet shop events for cats and dogs. So it's branched off into multiple different industries, all of the industries having synergy between them, with the exclusion of pet. However, the CBD category in the pet industry is the fastest growing category currently in the pet market. So it made sense to go into pet next.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense. It's a multi-billion-dollar market, especially who knows how much of that pie CBD will take from it.
Correct.
Yeah. And two, with running the business as well, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges you have faced?
Some of the biggest challenges are getting the word out. to explain to people exactly what we do, and it's hard for some people to grasp the concept until they actually get to the event. Some people think, so for buyers, for example, we pay for the buyers to come out. We pay for airfare, hotel room, all their meals, everything's free for the buyers, doesn't cost a dime. And some buyers think, well, if it's too good to be true, but it is true. We do pay for everything for our vetted buyers, and it's really a unique experience. And the productivity level is through the roof, and we bring in direct manufacturers, so it's a really good time for people to build those relationships and move forward with business. And it's in a very intimate setting. So that's one of our biggest challenges, to be quite honest with you, is getting our word out there and letting people know what we do.
Oh, gotcha. So if you had to do things differently from day one, what do you think those things would be?
Um, wow, that's a good question. Improve the process. We from day one, there's a lot of learning curves as time goes on, especially with our traditional convention hall style booth show. Um, you know, Spending more time and more emphasis on getting the word out there. Really, we have an internal goal of improving every single show. We've been doing these boutique shows for years and years now, and we have it down to a science. But there's always a room for improvement. So we're always trying to improve. So that's one of the things that we strive for is improvement on every show.
Well, it's like been the biggest shift going from like live trade shows to the virtual as a result of COVID-19.
Well, just that the shift of going from physical. See, during COVID, we were actually one of the only trade show companies in the nation, if not the only trade show company in the nation, to still have live in-person shows because our boutique style trade shows were they were designed for COVID before COVID even hit because they're private one-on-one meetings. So there's only two people in a room. They socially distance. Everybody masked up, and we had continuous sold out shows through all of 2020 and into 2021. So, however, there were a lot of people that didn't want to travel. So we pivoted and went into the virtual space. And our virtual shows, we've had 6 virtual shows to date, all which have sold out. Again, we have very limited availability, so they sell out rather quickly. But the virtual shows, in my mind, when we first started our virtual events, I didn't know what to expect. It was we'll try it out and see what happens. And it was an overwhelmingly positive response, and we've sold out ever since. So they're definitely viable, and I think they're going to be viable even in the future. Even now that COVID is starting to taper down a little bit, vaccines are coming out, but a lot of people still like the convenience of being able to go to a trade show from their office. A lot of people want to get back to in-person business to business, but there's still a convenience factor with our virtual events. If you don't have time to be out of the office for 3 or 4 days, you can do a one-day trade show, meet with all direct manufacturers, get a lot accomplished in a 7-hour time frame, and then go back to your day, and you don't have to travel. So the convenience factor is definitely a big scenario that works out for a lot of people.
No, it's very true. So you definitely see that in the future. You'll have a virtual component in person when each trade show's happening.
Well, the virtual shows are actually separate from our in-person shows. So we'll have for example, in May, at the end of May here, May 23rd through 25th, we have a smoke shop events in Park City, Utah. And then the 26th through the 28th of May, the same week, we have CBD events in Park City, Utah. So it's all the same location. And then coming up next week, or this week, Wednesday, we have smoke shop events Wired. Our Wired is our virtual brand. And then next week on the 14th on Wednesday is our CBD Wired. Which is again our virtual brand. So we still stagger them out so that way people can still come to the in-person events if they want, or they can do the virtual events or they want, or they can do both.
Oh, gotcha. If you have to say like what separates you from other trade show organizations, why should somebody go with you?
We put a lot of effort and time into taking care of our attendees, the organizational aspect of it, the structure of it, and the productivity. Hands down, second to none in my eyes. We go above and beyond and take that extra step to make sure Our goal is to make sure everybody has an extremely productive, beneficial trade show. So that's one of the things we strive on organization, we pay attention to detail, and we really put on a top-notch event. And even when it comes to our traditional booth shows, uh, we have a phone app where our registration process, if you've ever been to a convention hall show, sometimes it can take you'll be in line for an hour to 3 hours waiting to get into the trade show. We don't want people spending an hour to 3 hours in line waiting to get into a show to go see their favorite exhibitors. So with our phone app, we went very technologically advanced, and we have a scan in check-in process where there's a QR code that pops up on their cell phone through our phone app. They can go up to a kiosk, scan their QR code, it automatically sends the information over to a printer, prints out their badge, we give them their badge, they walk in the show. It's as simple as that. We had our show in New Orleans March 2nd and 3rd, and there was no more than a 10 to 12 minute wait for any buyer at the show, which is great. We do a lot of other things on the tech end of it, pre-registration. We give out free hotel rooms. We do a $300 retail value gift cards for every buying company that walks through the door. So we do a lot of perks for our buyers and our exhibitors. We do a lot of extra things for our exhibitors. One of the other things that sets us apart is prior to our boutique shows and our wired events, we send out detailed business profiles. So every exhibitor gets a detailed business profile on a buyer, and every buyer gets a detailed business profile on the exhibitor. Tells them who they're meeting with, their contact information, their website, how many stores they have, if they're a retailer, if they're a distributor, how many stores they distribute to. Tells you all the pertinent information on the buyer. For the buyers, it tells you the name of the exhibitor, the name of the company, the contact information, the sales rep, what type of products they manufacture, their website, tells you all the pertinent information you need to know on the exhibitor. And that goes out typically about 30 days prior to the show. So that way, both attendees can do their homework on each other before they even meet in person. Because the more knowledgeable you are going into your meetings, the more productive of a show you're going to have.
Oh, of course. And what's the number one way you're bringing in people to the trade shows as well?
What's that? I'm sorry?
So, like, what's the number one way you're bringing in like trade show attendees?
We do a lot of marketing via social media. We do print media through HQ Magazine and B2B Wholesaler. We do e-blasts. We have a team, a sales force here in office that's pounding the phones, 5 days a week. So we do a lot. We do direct mailers, both postcards and invites. We do magazine inserts. So we try to cover all the bases to let all the attendees know about the shows. We have a lot of our exhibitors, we supply them with free order stuffers to put in with their logo on it, inviting them to the shows. So we provide that free of charge, free sponsorship. So we do a lot of different marketing angles to get our attendees out to the shows.
Oh, awesome. And like 6 months to a year from now, like where do you see like SSE Group heading?
Well, we're definitely heading in the right direction. COVID obviously was a big factor. Even though we still had live in-person events, our booth show, our traditional convention hall booth show had to be pushed back because of COVID. So that kind of threw a monkey wrench into the plans. But March, we had one. We were one of the first trade shows in the nation to actually go off in New Orleans. And we were the first show in a year in New Orleans Convention Center to happen. And it went off without a hitch. Nobody walked away with COVID. We practiced social distancing. Everybody wore masks. We had hand sanitizer stations throughout the convention center. We had temperature checks at the door. So it was very, very safe. Our number one priority right now in these times are safety for our attendees. We want to make sure everybody's safe and feels safe and is able to still be productive and go out and do business. So I see us moving forward. We're adding more shows as we go, and we're gaining momentum more and more every day of the week. We're adding more sales staff. We're doing more marketing. So, we have goals of how many shows we want to do a year and what different industries we want to branch off into. So, but we're definitely heading in the right direction.
So like I'm curious too, is one goal of being all 50 states during a year?
Well, It's not all 50 states, but 50 shows a year is a goal we have, and then eventually 100 shows a year. But it's going to take a little while to get to that point, but we're on pace for a good track record so far, and we're on pace to get our goals in a matter of time.
Oh, of course. Too, like, where do you see the future of trade shows heading as well, too, especially in a post-COVID world?
Well, I think people are eager to get back to in-person events. They've been cooped up for the last year and a half. They haven't been able to travel. They haven't been able to go on vacations. They haven't been able to go to trade shows. So there's pent-up demand to actually get back to in-person trade shows. Some people are still skeptical of traveling because COVID is still out there, and vaccines still aren't readily available for everyone at this point, but they're getting out there more and more so every day. So the more the vaccines get out there, the more people get vaccinated, the more people are going to be willing to travel. However, like I mentioned earlier, I think that post COVID, there's still going to be a need for the virtual events strictly because of the convenience factor. People, I was floored by the overwhelmingly positive response on our virtual events. People absolutely loved it. They were having fun. They were getting business accomplished. They were there on their computer screens for one day and then they were done. I mean, they didn't have to travel. They didn't have to go through the airports and security and packing a suitcase and this and that and the other thing and getting to the hotels. And they still went to a trade show right from their office or from their home. So I think virtual will still be a thing of the future post COVID. I don't think it'll be as prevalent as it was during COVID, but I think the virtual shows are here to stay. They might not be as many a year, but they're definitely here to stay in my eyes.
No, I definitely see that too. But it's not just with trade shows, but there are other businesses as well. Like, say, for like a psychologist or any type of doctor, there's been a rise in telemedicine, and they can see patients from all over, not just in their local areas. So I think similar thing with trade shows as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of pluses. There's a lot of negative that happened with COVID, but there's also some positives that happen with COVID. Like the doctor visits. That's great. You can do it virtually now. I don't have to go to the doctor's office. I mean, it's a great thing.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, even too, like, there's going to be a rise in a number of businesses, I think, in the post-COVID world as well too. Like, I know, like, during the 08 to 10 recession, like Uber, Airbnb, and some other big companies were founded during that time. So, like, during this crazy time, like, it's going to be interesting to see which businesses arise from it or are born.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely interesting times.
That, yeah, especially, like, I'm seeing, like, it looks like too with the cannabis space, there's going to be a lot more trade shows in that industry with legalization happening across multiple states. We'll
Yeah,
see,
we're
because
definitely.
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, yeah, I agree with you there. The cannabis space, we're in the cannabis space as well, and that industry is exploding. All the industries that we're in, from vape to CBD to smoke shop industry to the cannabis space, they're all exploding. And legalization, states are dropping like flies. It's becoming more and more socially accepted. They're finding a lot more medical benefits to it. They're actually able to do scientific testing on cannabis as opposed to previously they weren't able to because it was illegal. Now that certain states are allowing legal cannabis, they're able to do scientific testing to find out some of the different benefits, the health and medical benefits of cannabis, which are we're just scratching the surface on them. And in my opinion, it's just a matter of time before it goes federally legal. When that will happen, who knows? But I think it's definitely heading in that direction.
Because there's still, like, a lot of undiscovered compounds within the cannabis plant that could be studied about, and their benefits too. I think it's changing. It's going to change a lot. It's going to change a lot with health and a bunch of other industries.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have over what 120 cannabinoids, I think, in the cannabis plant.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we're just scratching the surface on all the medical benefits to it.
Oh yeah. And for you too, like, who are your ideal customers to be in the trade shows as well?
So, ideal customers, each show is unique in its own right. So, the buyers can change from show to show depending on what type of show it is. Is it a boutique show? Is it a virtual event? Or is it a traditional convention hall show? We target, you know, industry specific buyers for our boutique shows. So for like the smoke shop industry, we bring in, smoke shops, chain stores, distributors that are specific to that industry. Same with CBD. We bring in CBD Store USA. We bring in CBD Plus USA. We bring in purely CBD, CBD Emporium, a lot of big, large retail chains. We're working on Vitamin Shop right now. We've had Amazon at our shows, in some of our previous shows. And then we bring in distributors as well again. Now, our traditional convention hall style show, we bring in the masses, we bring in the large volume buyers, and we bring in the mom and pop shops throughout the nation in multiple different industries. You have CBD is everywhere. I mean, there's a video store, believe it or not, still in business. There's a chain of video stores that's still in business called Family Video, and they carry CBD. I mean, you can find it in gas stations, in health food stores, in big box retail. I mean, CBD is everywhere right now. So we target buyers from all different industries to come in to our HQ event to buy. So as well as the mom and pop shops of the smoke shop world, the vape industry, the CBD industry, all the above, the cannabis space. We bring in dispensaries, we bring in growers and grow shops and things of that nature. So a lot of different buyers that come in.
Oh, awesome. You've got like other types of manufacturers as well too. About like is somebody, let's say for example, somebody who manufactures some equipment used for extraction or something along those lines.
Absolutely. We bring in, all the different manufacturing companies. We bring in from equipment to, CBD to lighting to, glass pipes and grinders and hookahs and, vape accessories, hardware and mods and e-liquids and e-juice and, CBD realm. We bring in pet toys and pet treats. We bring in, gummies. We bring in tinctures and everything you can imagine under the sun with CBD. So we bring in various types of exhibitors to our events.
Oh, nice. What about, I'm curious too, any like packaging companies as well too? Is that another one you're looking for?
Yeah, packaging. We bring in packaging. We bring in promotional products companies. We bring in packaging, POS systems, credit card processing companies. So we try to look at all the different angles of business and what could pertain to an attendee. You might want packaging. You might be in the market for a new POS system. You might want product. So we've tried to cover all the bases as far as that's concerned.
Oh yeah. Oh, because I know too. I was speaking with somebody in the space before. Like he was using like Bank of America, and then they declined him because he was selling CBD. They're like, "Oh no, you can't process your payments here anymore." But then we went with a local bank, and he likes it much better. They actually accept hemp companies, so it's always interesting to see with that how like when the big banks will say yes to that.
Yeah, credit card processing is definitely tricky, especially with some of the other supplements on the market, from CBD to kratom to CBG, CBN, a lot of CBCD, and there's a lot of different aspects of it. And processing is definitely a tricky one. And now with the new PACT Act going into effect for the vape industry, that's affecting a lot of businesses with shipping issues and tax issues. So there's a lot of research still to be done to try to find solutions for all these problems, if you will. But the ball's going in the right direction. I think it's just a matter of time before these issues get resolved.
Oh, of course. Even for like transport too, I think some companies too have had issues with like UPS and United States Post Service confiscating some of the products if they found it was like Delta 8 hemp or just CBD, like they wouldn't ship it. So that could be another one too, like having transportation companies specializing in cannabis transport.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And Delta 8's another big one that's huge right now. That Delta 8 is taken off. So how long it'll be around, who knows? We'll see. But it's definitely a hot item right now.
Yeah, I think have a place in its market, like because some people might not want like the real high or whatever. If they want it just temporarily, everybody's different with their preferences.
Correct. Yep, yep. Agreed.
I think too, the tourism industry is going to go up too with like if when it gets legal everywhere, because each place will have its own type of cannabis. It's like similar to like beer and wine. Like they want to go visit breweries or vineyards.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I have we have a cannabis farm out in Oregon, and it's taken off. And you're right. Each state, they have their different strains that are specific to that state. Some people have their own strains that they've procured over the years and created, and with different genetics and whatnot. So it's definitely interesting. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen when it does go federally legal, if it does,
Yeah,
which.
even with farming too, if they'll experiment like trying to crossbreed like some of the cannabis plants with fruit or vegetables, like who knows if this they're gonna come up with that.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, the possibilities are endless, which is it's exciting times that we're in right now in the cannabis space. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think hemp is like the best plant to exist because it has so many uses, the most versatile plant there is.
Yeah, I mean, from rope to I've seen hemp concrete to
Oh, construction, yeah.
yeah, construction, paper. I mean, it's endless the possibilities that you can use hemp for. I mean, it's really a great plant.
No, it because then they're gonna have certain specializations within these well-known industries. Saying like, oh, they're a hemp or CBD person. Like it could be like a hemp construction worker,
Yeah.
only deals with hemp products. Or actually, no, I spoke with somebody earlier who was a CBD massage therapist, so she only uses CBD products.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, even like I guess with law too, there'll be like cannabis lawyers or cannabis accountants. They only work with those businesses, so
Right, right.
it's definitely growing. It's like yeah, definitely heading in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah. They're predicting I can't remember. I just read an article on one of the major news outlets, and that they predicted CBD to be I can't remember how many billions of dollars a year in gross sales, and it was a huge increase over just 2020. They're predicting 2021 to be increased by like $2 billion a year. Yeah, I mean, the numbers are staggering, and it's still growing. So it's curious to see where it's going to be in 5 to 10 years from now.
No, yeah, of course. Who knows to do with other countries, like worldwide though? That's another thing. Other countries will start developing it too.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see. I know going back to like the trade shows as well. What's the biggest difference between running like a vape trade show versus a CBD or a smoke shop or trade show?
Not a lot of differences, realistically. As far as the format is concerned, the format of the trade show is the same. Everybody gets the profiles prior to the show. Everybody eats all their meals together. Everybody has 20-minute pre-scheduled one-on-one meetings together. So the format doesn't change. It's just the attendees change. And we do have a lot of crossover because of all the industries have a lot of synergy between them. We'll get a lot of exhibitors that will do all of our shows, and vice versa. We'll have a lot of buyers that do all of our shows because smoke shops sell a large amount of CBD products, and vape shops carry smoking accessories now, and so on and so forth. A lot of industries like the vape industry pivoted a couple years back because all the different regulations and the PMTAs that hit, and now the PACT Act. So they're finding that they have to, carry alternative accessories because of all the, publicity that's been brought to the vape space. So we have a lot of crossover traffic between all of our different industries and different events that we do.
Oh wow! And is it? Do you have like one location that's more popular than another one? Out of curiosity.
Actually, not necessarily. I've had new attendees that have asked me, especially on the exhibitor side, well, what's the best show? I'm like, they're all good. And the reason I say that is because location matters not with our events, because we fly the buyers in from all over the nation to every show. So location is just if you prefer a certain place over another, but as far as the show value, they're all equal in that sense. It's not like this location is better than that location for a show, because again, we fly the buyers in from all over. So we could have it in Timbuktu and it would still be a good show because we fly all the buyers in.
Oh wow!
So
I'm always curious with that, just because it's like, hey, like some people might, because then it's like, hey, like if they have time, they can go do some leisure stuff. If one location appeals to another, that's
well, we usually go to destination locations, like our next show is in Park City. Park City is absolutely beautiful in the summertime. Gorgeous place to visit. There's a lot of really, even though it's a ski town and it's known for skiing, for snow skiing, there's still a lot of really cool things. It's a really outdoorsy kind of vibe. Lodge has a lodge kind of feel to it. The resort. Then we go to places like San Antonio, which you have the river walk. which is super cool. We go to Scottsdale, Arizona, right next to Phoenix there. A lot to do out in Phoenix. So we've been down to Florida. We go to New Orleans. So every place has really cool, unique things to do that are specific to that area of the country. So at that point, it becomes personal preference, on which location you want to do. We have a lot of exhibitors that do all of our shows for the entire year. We have different programs set up for our exhibitors that they'll sign up for the whole year's worth of shows with us just because of the productivity of them.
Oh wow, I mean those locations you mentioned too. Those sound like I want to go to all those locations. So
They're really cool. Yeah, they're definitely. We've hosted shows over in Madrid, Spain. So we really pick some really cool destination locations.
oh, you go international too?
Yeah, we've done some international vape shop events, trade shows. We haven't had one obviously in a while, with COVID and regulations and this and that going on, but so they're more domestic now than previously. But yeah, but we really definitely hit some really cool locations.
Yeah.
I love.
Well, Madrid's like a great place to go to.
Oh, Madrid was amazing. Yeah, it was one of my favorites for sure.
No, yeah, like I mean, I was like personally, I was there for like a night though, but I really liked it. Like the markets and stuff. The city's really cool. Like it has a good. It feels like a modern city. It has like all the classic elements, like the history.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite places. So in the US, Park City is probably one of my favorites. I love that place. It's just so cool there.
No, I
So
would like to go to Utah, like especially like during the summertime. Yeah, like because they say like similar with like Colorado, it's supposed to be beautiful in the summer because
yeah,
yeah, the nature and everything.
absolutely. And then of course Vegas. We have a show in Vegas coming up in July. It's our HQ event, which is our big booth show. So that's going to be at Caesar's Palace, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, fun stuff.
Oh, you have one in Vegas too. Oh, I know that's like a popular destination for trade shows.
Yeah, it's probably the most popular trade show destination, possibly in the world. There's so many trade shows that go on in Vegas. The Vegas Convention Center just added another 500,000 square feet to their convention center, making it one of the biggest, if not the biggest convention hall in the world. So there's a lot of major trade shows that happen in Vegas. So it's definitely the number one trade show venue, at least in the U.S., if not worldwide.
Yeah, I wonder why it is Vegas is the number one place.
It's a fun place to go.
I guess it's because yeah, it has nice weather. You got the casinos.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yes. About have you gone to like any of the big cities too? It's like Chicago, LA, New York for
Yeah.
shows.
We haven't personally hosted any shows as of yet in Chicago, LA, or New York, but not to say that that won't happen in the future.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be one of those 100 shows you'll have.
Probably.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's definitely great to speak with you. So if anybody wants to contact you, so how would you recommend people getting hold of you or just getting hold of SSE Group?
Yeah, so you can go to our website. It's www.ssegroup.llc.com. You can call our toll-free number at 877-220-9502. And for more information on our traditional convention hall style show, go to www.thehqevent.com. Either two of those websites will get you to us. And if you have any questions, by all means, reach out. We'd love to tell you about our events a little bit more in depth. One of the other things that sets us apart from a lot of the other shows on the market too is we like to work hand in hand with both our buyers and exhibitors prior to the show, during the show, and in the aftermath of the show to help guarantee their success. We really work closely with everybody to know what to expect, how to work our show, how to be best productive at our events, what to do, and we provide a lot of different tools for all of our attendees to help be successful at our shows. So, but yeah, so reach out to us and we'll go from there.
Sounds great. So Henry here signing off. Like again, it was great to speak with you, and we look forward to future interviews.
Thanks a lot, Henry. Really appreciate your time. Thanks, everyone. Have a great one. We look forward to hearing from you.